Gentlemen, we're here with
Kara, Phoebe,
Melissa.
What's the biggest red flag when it comes to a guy?
when they're saying one thing and they're doing another thing. You know, it's like actions speak louder than words. Like, we can all have the answer together. Like, I think that's a red flag.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
With your experience, right? With dating.
Why me?
Because you seem like you're like the more mature, like in this group. What's like?
Why is that?
Oh, we're mature.
Because you're the oldest. You're the oldest.
How do you know I'm the oldest out of all of us?
Yeah, how do you know
The
that?
looks, I can tell.
How?
Okay, well, you just totally insulted me.
Well, I'm not trying to insult you.
Are you calling her old?
Right.
Anyways, what's your experience been with dating? Like, what do you see?
I've been married for the past 7 years, so.
He did the right thing. Anyways, let's get to the question that needs to be asked. Because you acted silly. Well, I've been married for the past 7 years. Okay, then just say that. And the fact that you framed it like I've been married for the past 7 years makes me wonder what you were doing before that. What you're, even regardless of what you've been doing, you're the oldest of the bunch. Well, why do you say I'm old? Stop moving the goalpost. You are the oldest, whatever you seem. He was looking for a mature perspective. Look at the way that they act, or the way that they're carrying themselves versus what you're wearing, your hairstyle, the way you carry yourself. Look at the way you're holding your hands. These two actually could maybe pass as your daughter, and y'all are having a night out on the town. That's what that looks like. These young ladies look like they might be well, she might actually be as old, to be honest. The one with the denim on, she might be as old. I can't. Well, actually, now that I'm seeing their faces, they might be the same age, to be honest. See their faces, but the way they look versus how you look. That's what they're wearing versus what you're wearing is an older style. They're kind of like, fun. They could be 30. I've seen 20-year-olds wear that, right? Obviously, I've seen 50-year-olds wear that, but you're mostly going to see 20-year-olds wearing that sort of denim thing, like that, whatever it is. And then the woman in the middle, she's kind of like, maybe late 30s, early 40s, maybe mid 40s. And you look like maybe 50, 55. That's what you look like, right? It's not a slight. It's just he wasn't saying that you old. He was saying, well, I'm looking for a mature perspective. And because, I guess that hurt your ego. And so you got upset. But no, grow some thick skin, bro.
I see why men are staying single, because look around. We have women out here bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not taking care of their home, not being soft, and not being supportive. And then expecting a man to show up as a provider, leader, planner, protector, and lover, while giving him absolutely nothing in return. And yes, I will be the one to say it. A home needs a woman who actually enjoys being a woman. A woman who takes pride in making her home feel warm and peaceful. A woman who loves her man in the same way that she wants to be loved. That is not oppression, that is care. Men are tired of being treated like a walking wallet. Tired of disrespect. Tired of begging for affection and a little peace. So, they are choosing to stay single, not because they hate women, but because they are looking for a woman that values her role just as much as his. And honestly, I don't blame them, because relationships only work when both people show up and give.
Y'all, pride and ego are running amok, destroying relationships left and right. Our ego is keeping us from taking accountability. Our ego is keeping us from apologizing for our bad behavior. Our ego is keeping us in broken places. Our ego has us choosing people that we know are not good for us, but are telling us what we want to hear so we stay around them because we don't want to feel inadequate or we don't want to feel less than. Our ego is keeping us from doing the work that we know we need to do in order to heal. Our ego is keeping us from getting a therapist. Our ego is keeping us from listening to that therapist. Ego is breaking up families. Our ego is keeping us from forgiving.
This is a classic case of the wrong messenger with the right message. Fellas, this is how dangerous a level 99 chameleon can be, but let's focus on the lesson. Safety nets from family and friends is what allows women to maintain their ego and other personality defects. Women will keep a social circle of enablers, and this allows them to avoid the consequences from the situations that they had a hand in destroying. This is the environment that allows them to go perpetually uncorrected, and why we see projection in the modern woman today. The good news is they can't maintain those environments because the lack of accountability and stability don't mix. This is how they end up with toxic men with personality defects similar to them because they find comfort in the connection, then wonder why things never work out. Because like a narcissist, they're attracted to their own reflection.
When a woman makes more money than her man, it's not the money that kills the relationship. It's her ego behind making more money. In her mind, she thinks she's better than him because she's able to make more than him. Because a lot of women rate success based on how much money a man can make. So if she can make more than him, her ego tells her she's better than him. What do you guys think?
This is how to break a woman's ego. Humble a toxic woman. Humble a disrespectful woman. Are you willing to know this? Let's go. Number 1, make her feel replaceable. Make her feel replaceable. For a toxic woman, they have that ego. They feel that without them, you cannot live. At times, they even feel that you can never replace them. They are irreplaceable. No woman like them because they have that ego. They always see themselves as the best, the highest, the most beautiful, and all of that. Make her feel replaceable. Break her ego. Let her feel that she's not the best. You have other options, other pleasing options. Very important. This is one way to break an ego of a very toxic woman. One of the biggest ego blow of a toxic woman is for her to realize she's not that special. Yes, you have other options, more pleasing options. She's not the best, the most beautiful as she thinks she is. Break her ego. Let her know that other women value you. Other women admire you. Let her know that she can lose you to other women. Make her feel replaceable. She's not the best you can get. Don't let women deceive you. If you leave me, you will never find story. You will find better women that will value you and respect you. When she sees you have other options, it either forces her to humble herself or she loses you. 2, use silence as a weapon. Instead of arguing and explaining yourself to her, use silence as a weapon to deal with her. Don't explain or argue with a toxic woman. Stop responding. That alone will torture her. Ignore her totally. When she's talking, showing her toxicness, stop responding. Stop explaining yourself to her. Stop arguing with her. Let her words hang in the air. See, let me tell you, silence makes people uncomfortable. And when a toxic woman realizes that she's not getting the response she craves, she will start second-guessing her actions. Another way to break a woman's ego, to break a toxic woman's ego, agree with her mockingly. Agree with her mockingly. When a toxic woman tries to insult you or manipulate you, instead of getting defensive, agree with her in a sarcastic way. For example, if she says, "You will never find someone like me," respond like this: "Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal." You are agreeing with her in a sarcastic way. Yes, you agree that you will never find someone like her. That's your goal because you don't want someone like her. Yes, she's toxic. This one will get to her. Breaking that ego. Let her know that there is nothing special about her and you don't want to find someone like her. Next, take away your attention and importance. Take away your attention and importance. Toxic women often thrive on attention, validation, and emotional reactions. The moment you stop giving her any of that, by being indifferent, by being unavailable and emotionally detached. She becomes powerless. When she realizes she no longer has control over your emotions, this can deflate her ego. And finally, upgrade your life and leave her behind. Yes, very important. Upgrade your life and leave her behind. The ultimate way to humble any toxic person is by outgrowing them. Focus on improving yourself in all areas. Pursue your goal. Pursue your goal and surround yourself with positive people. Let there be other people in your life. Yes, hang out with friends. Meet another woman. She is not the only woman in the world. Make female friends. Even if you are not dating them, make plenty female friends. Let her see that women admire you. Women love to hang around you. This alone will make her jealous if she still loves you. Then if she does not, then let her go. Good radiance to bad rubbish. She's toxic. Let her see you succeed, thriving without her. This will hit her ego, because there are some women, they feel that you can never succeed or make it without them. Let them see you thriving without them. They are not your God. You can do without them. Let them see you making it, being successful, being the best version of yourself. Very important. And this alone will affect her ego. This guy can succeed without me. This guy can be happy. Look at him, so happy. He's so happy making friends without me. He's so happy, jovial, going out, enjoying life without me. Let her know that she is not that important. She is not as important as she thinks she is. So all of these are ways to break a toxic woman's ego. Learn it and start it, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not. Make sure the bell notification is turned on. Don't forget to like and share, okay? Break her ego. Humble that toxic, disrespectful woman now.
Somebody in the comments, is actually a woman, said, don't humble her, walk away from her. Facts. Somebody else said, the brotherhood is proud of you. Another guy says, my sister, you're 100% right in everything. Thank you and God bless. Another guy here says, pursue your goal and upgrade yourself. This is really it. Don't let these modern women drag you into some silly game, some back and forth that's beneath your character. Now, you can defend yourself, and, you know, from time to time you get into a little roasting session, but I'm not about to spend all day here sitting around listening to you talk stupid. I'm not going to be doing that. I have other things that have to do with my life. Like she says right here, a toxic woman. If you wanted to play those types of games, you can, but there's better things that you could be doing with your time. And you don't want all this nonsense filling up your head, because modern women, toxic women, can be really, really silly.
I need to say something that might be unpopular, but men aren't the enemy. Women's egos are. And before you come at me in the comments because I'm challenging your beliefs, hear me out. Because I know your relationships are suffering because of this. And if you're single, bitter, or convinced all men are the problem, this is definitely for you, babe. Listen, I know this sounds harsh, but I think our egos are creating more relationship problems than the actual men in our lives. And here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Like, we're out here getting upset and mad when our partner stops communicating with us, but maybe they've stopped communicating because every time they try, they get attacked. Just a thought. Or every time they try to share their perspective or offer feedback, our ego gets bruised and we immediately go into defense mode instead of actually listening. And trust me, there's something so powerful about learning to just be quiet and listen without needing to react all the time. Our egos tell us we're always right, that we don't need to apologize, that admitting we're wrong makes us weak. Our egos also make us defensive when our partner tries to communicate with us or give us feedback. Like, we'd rather be right than be happy. We'd rather win the argument than preserve the relationship. We've been programmed to think that needing our partner or showing vulnerability is somehow beneath us, and that submission or compromise in a relationship means we're losing ourselves, but that's our ego talking. Our egos tell us that if a man corrects us or disagrees with us, he's being controlling, and I know how much we like to play that card. Like, maybe he's just being honest. I had to learn to check my ego when my partner would point out things I needed to work on, and my first instinct was to get defensive, but that was just my ego protecting itself. And the crazy thing is, some of y'all pray to God to send you a man who can lead you, and then get mad when he actually does. And the thing about the ego is the ego wants to be worshipped and never challenged. But healthy relationships require both people to grow, and growth requires feedback. And we need to be honest, we blame men for not communicating, not taking the lead, not doing enough, but when they do try, we shut down or attack them for it. Like, make it make sense. Your ego wants to protect you, but it's actually sabotaging your relationships. Learning to humble yourself is the key to real connection. The right man isn't your enemy, he's your mirror. Don't let your ego destroy what could be beautiful.
Guy here in the comments said, I love smart women. Me too, bro. Me too. And really, this is more so somebody stepping back and reflecting on what's happening. Why is this happening? What part am I playing in it? Is there something inside of me that is ruining or making this and you know, it's not to absolve him of any responsibility or accountability, but what is it that's causing this rift between us or causing us not to hear each other out, right? Maybe he needs to work on X, Y, and Z. I definitely know that, but maybe I can work on a few things. Maybe there's some things that I can do. Get your pride and your ego out, just like y'all be telling the men. Get your pride and ego out the way and see what happens.
I think one of the main reasons, the first one, why a lot of intelligent men are single is because he doesn't necessarily fall for her games or like manipulation or something like that. And so he's more likely to get out of relationships that do not serve him because of those things. So it's not necessarily that he is not able to get a relationship. It's more that he's able to exit out of unhealthy relationships because he notices those things a little bit quicker. Okay. So he doesn't fall for the manipulation or the tricks or the whatever is going on. And so unlike maybe another person, not wrong or right. And so it's hard for him to stay in a relationship where he's out. For him, it's very obvious. He can see these dynamics, if that makes sense. And so he might actually struggle to be fulfilled because he's not able to ignore that necessarily. The next one I think is really common, and I do see it more common with men who I perceive as more intelligent, is they actually challenge their partner's spending habits, okay? And some females do not like this, but a lot of males, I think, I've noticed, are grown up in a direction where they value budgeting a little bit more. Maybe that's not true, but I've always felt like it's true. I don't know. Which is good. I think that's a good thing. I like budgeting, so that's a really cool trait. But a lot of times he may challenge her spending habits, to which she may take that as an insult, or she may not be able to provide in that direction. She might not know how to conform to those spending habits, into which she might break up with him, or she might create problems or whatever it is, to which that relationship cannot last, to which he again ends up in a perspective or position where he's single because he didn't say, hey, you can spend all my money, or you can spend our money. Let's say they're married, whatever it is. And it creates issues. And he's going to fix those issues instead of let them continuously deteriorate the relationship, to which he just tackles it sooner, more so. Okay. The next one I really feel is probably one of the, they're all so common, but I don't know. I noticed this one is actually a lot of intelligent men, I feel like, take their time to commit to make sure she is compatible, which what I've noticed a lot of advice, I'm not even making advice, I'm just sharing my perspective. Okay. I notice a lot of advice for ladies, I think, I'm not sure, is like, if he doesn't commit right away, that means he's never going to commit. Have you guys ever heard that? I swear I've heard that before. And I don't think that's true. Like, I just don't. I think that a lot of men, especially if he's intelligent, he takes his time because he could lose a lot, right? Even in terms of a marriage, he can lose financially. We were just talking about financial habits, but just in general, he could lose lots of things, rights to his kids, whatever it may be. And so he takes those things in account because he's intelligent, and he's trying to make sure if she's compatible and worthy of him to take that risk to commit. And so I actually think intelligent men take time to commit, and sometimes that can be off-putting to females who do not see that as a good trait, because I think it's a good trait, but some people don't, and I think everybody's different. But that may be off-putting to some folks. I don't know, but that was my perspective, okay? The next one that I think makes a lot of sense, at least from my perspective, is he holds her accountable. And sometimes people are so willing to be in a relationship that they might not hold their partner accountable because they're afraid to lose her. And so a man who feels that he's quite intelligent and he's comfortable with himself, he might actually hold her accountable because he's happy being himself, but he also wants to be with her, not because he needs to be with her, because he wants to. And in that way, he wants change for her, better change for himself, better change for her. He has expectations. And so he actually holds her accountable to those expectations. And some people, regardless of gender, don't like to be held accountable.
All really good points. And just listening to you, you can tell that, and this is what a lot of men want, you can tell that you're thinking through it. Now, why would he? Now, what would he be doing in this situation? Why would he think like this? And this is actually, when I think about it, it's actually a really good trait. Most people should like this. Most people should operate in this way. But modern women don't want that, right? They try to pressure or guilt a man into doing the things that they want. And they want it to be a subtle guilt, right? I don't want to be too forward with it. I want to influence you to do what I want you to do. But if I come right out and say it, then it'll be like, I don't want to hear myself have to say it, because then it's not, my mind and Jedi tricks ain't working. Like, my influence is not powerful enough. My femininity, my charm, my spell is not strong enough to get you to do whatever I want. This is something that I've been practicing a lot. Be strong, be feminine, be divinely feminine, be ultra feminine. And if you're that, the energy, the vibes are they're undeniable for a man. And so if this man is not seeing the uniqueness in me, if he's not feeling my energy, if he's not doing the things that I want him to do while I'm thinking about it automatically, then does he even like me? Am I even, God forbid, am I even as feminine as I think that I am? It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with you being able to communicate. That's it. Whatever you want, just let them know and go from there. But modern women don't do that. Modern women will hear all of this stuff and not take any of this seriously. They'll hear all of it and be like, I don't want any of this. I'm not interested. This is too much nonsense for me. It's just too much thinking for me. I don't want to be a part of it. But what she said, a lot of it at least, is factual. It's factual. A man will think through everything he's got going on. He's going to make a well-informed decision, especially if he's got people in his life. And a lot of times his mom. A lot of times dad will come in and say something, but mom, because they care about their son, will come in and say, now watch for this, watch for that. Be careful of this. Don't do that. And sometimes moms can overdo it. But, you got a good mom. She means well. And she can say, now, this woman, I've seen this woman, or I've hung out with women, or I've had acquaintances like this. So be careful. And they will lead their son into the right direction. So their son will be set up and he will find a good woman. And he'll listen because he loves his mom. And he'll listen because he loves his dad. And that's what type of man she's talking about here. A man that listens to counsel, wise counsel, and he makes a decision, while modern women are trying to rush him into something errant that is not best for him, and will get mad and blow up when he don't run to do whatever you want him to do or put you up on a pedestal.
Why a lot of men love being single. So ladies, if you're watching this, this is what you're up against and what you're competing against. 1, he can enjoy all of his hobbies without being nagged or put down or his hobbies made fun of. His friends might lightly tease him, but for the most part, they're probably into the same hobbies he is, and he's gonna have so much fun with them. So if you're in a relationship with a man, make sure you show full support for his hobbies. 2, he doesn't have to worry about financially serving anybody. Unfortunately, for a lot of men, relationships are insanely expensive. There's always that joke that he went to the restaurant without his girlfriend and he only had to spend like $10. Whereas with his girlfriend, he would have spent $50. Now that's probably an exaggeration, but you get what I'm getting at. And next, they can live and decorate the way they want to. They don't feel the need to have all these weird items around the house for no apparent purpose other than to collect dust. They can have that simple, minimalist setup that looks clean and beautiful, and it's effortless to maintain.
You want to know why men over 40 are staying single? I'll tell you why. Because society raised women to be wives to careers, not husbands. And now the men who were once overlooked are watching rebellion unfold and choosing peace over chaos. These ain't excuses. These are the raw, unfiltered reasons men are walking away from modern women, and many of them don't plan on looking back. You better watch this all the way through or keep wondering why that good man ain't calling you back. Let's set the record straight. This ain't about men being bitter. This ain't about men being weak. This is about men getting wise, men getting structure, and men finally realizing what marriage has turned into and what it costs when you choose a woman who ain't built for submission, peace, or purpose. And if you're one of those women thinking, well, maybe he just can't handle a strong woman, sit tight. You're about to find out he didn't lose interest. He gained clarity. First reason, divorce destroys a man's life. Older men have seen it too many times. Good men getting gutted in court. He loses his house, he loses his pension, his legacy, and she walks away with half his world for bringing nothing but attitude to the table. Why would any man jump into a legal system designed to reward rebellion and punish masculinity?
You know, it's something to be said about a man that's fed up. Guy here in the comments says there's too much incentive to divorce. Guy here says, another guy says, I'm 52, never married and no kids, on 115. 115 acres of land. A 4x4 boat earning $100K a year after taxes. And 300 superannuation, which will be 400 when I turn 60 and retire. No help from any woman. Other guy says, stay single, get a dog, travel, and be happy. You know, like I said, it's something to be said about a man that's going to be straight up with you. He's tired of all the BS. He's tired of all the lying, the running around and the carrying on. I'm not going to do that no more. You either give me what I'm looking for, which ain't much. I'm just asking for respect, support, loyalty, and I'd like you to be cute. That's it. And y'all can't even do that right. Can't even do that right. Like I said, there's too many tools out there to help you do what a man is asking you to do, and you can't even do it right. The man got to push and prod you and pick you up and stretch you out and okay, now, well, you want to work out? Yeah, I want to work out. Okay, now let me take this arm and do the curl for you. And now you got to put it back down. Now you got to do another curl, and we're going to do that 10 times. Come on, you can do it by yourself. I don't want to do that. Okay, come on now. Let me stretch your chest out. Put your arms like this. Come on. Get a good stretch. Come on now. Stretch your back out. Come on now. We're going to go to your hamstring. Got to stretch those out. Oh, you got to help me. The man got to carry you, push you, prod you every single step of the way. You can't do anything for yourself. Come on. We're going to go over the bench press now. We're going to work on your chest. Come on. Push it up. You got it. It's not that hard. It's easy weight. Got to push you, prod you, pull you over and over again until the man says, you know what? Stay single and get a dog. Travel. Be happy. Because she's playing games.
So how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Is that a real 6'2" or a man 6'2"? You know, men, y'all add inches.
I'm not understanding what's going on here.
So did your doctor say that you were 6'2"? Or did he say 5'11"?
So let's say I am 5'11".
Okay.
What are we talking about?
We want to know your height. Just answer the question. Right. If it's 6'2", it's 6'2".
I know, but I mean, I want to know like where we're going with this.
Well, one, she's a taller woman.
She is.
Correct.
Yes.
6 feet. And so she also loves to wear heels. So now we're adding a few inches.
6'3",
So
6'4".
is that something that, like some men are weird about that?
Oh, so your question is do I mind her height?
No. Our question is, how tall are you? It's really lighthearted. We were just asking how tall you are. That's it.
Okay, but it's the same answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not mad at it.
Somebody in the comments said, just date white women. They don't play these types of childish games. God, dog. This is why they be getting played and cheated on and end up with the wrong man. Just asking the wrong questions. See down at the bottom it says when you're on a date with a man and you're asking elementary level questions. 56 seconds of confusion. Why are men staying single? And this is on OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network. They're talking stupid. And Oprah is allowing it. Probably because this is something that she would ask at her age. No shade, but you know, this is foolishness, man. This really is foolishness.
Now, I don't know if I'm just speaking from experience, dog, but fellas, stay single, man. Once you realize that the relationship will always be about the woman and her emotions and how she feels within a relationship, you'll realize it's a waste of motherfucking time. Cause whole time you supposed to put her on a pedestal, but you will never get that reciprocation, gang. That's why they always say love for men is conditional, gang. You only love by what you can provide. The second you stop showing up, my nigga, so does the love.
You ever notice how when a man is handsome, educated and successful, people can't help but whisper, how is he still single? What's wrong with him? But here is the truth. Nothing's wrong with him, absolutely nothing. He's just reached a point in life where peace feels better than chaos and freedom tastes sweeter than validation. He's not lonely. He's finally relaxed. Now, most men don't wake up one morning saying, that's it, I'm done with women. It's not bitterness, it's experience. After years of trying to please everyone, fixing problems that weren't theirs, carrying the emotional weight of every relationship, they simply realize something. Peace isn't negotiable anymore. A smart man values peace the same way he values time, because both are limited. When he's younger, maybe, he doesn't get it, he will argue, chase, explain, tolerate, because he still believes that love alone can fix things. But as he grows, he learns that constant drama, emotional instability, and walking on eggshells drain the very energy he needs to be himself. And it's not that he hates women. In fact, most of these men deeply respect women. They just don't want to fight for space in their own home anymore. They've learned that peace is not loneliness, it's clarity. When a man gets home after a long day, the last thing he wants is another battlefield, right? He wants silence, a meal, maybe his favorite show, maybe a night in the gym, or a glass of wine on the balcony. Something that doesn't involve explaining himself or existing. And let's be honest, guys, being a man today isn't exactly easy. Society expects him to be strong but sensitive, ambitious but humble, protective but never controlling. He's taught to open up but not too much, provide but don't expect appreciation, and if he ever says he's tired, he's emotionally unavailable. So yes, after years of that, a smart man chooses something revolutionary. He chooses himself. He just realizes that being single doesn't mean being alone. It means having the freedom to decide what kind of peace he wants every single day. It means waking up without stress, without walking on eggshells, without wondering what mood his partner will be in. He can plan his day around his priorities, not someone else's expectations. He can spend his weekends however he wants, traveling, reading, working on projects, go fishing, hit the gym, or just sleep in without anyone nagging you're wasting your day. For many men, that quiet independence is not loneliness, it's heaven. And the funny part, you know what? When men reach this point, people start labeling them. He's afraid of commitment. He's too picky. No, he just knows the cost of giving his peace to the wrong person. He's not afraid of love. He's afraid of losing himself again. A smart man knows what it took to get where he is, the sleepless nights, the risks, the sacrifices. And when he finally has stability, the idea of risking it all for a relationship that feels more like a job than love, doesn't sound very smart. Because let's be real, some women today confuse partnership with supervision. They think, being in a relationship means controlling him, changing changing him, testing him. And for a man who spent years building his success, that kind of relationship feels suffocating. It's not that he doesn't want love. He wants peace with love. But that combination is rare. So when he can't find it, he doesn't settle. He doesn't, fake happiness for Instagram. He doesn't marry just to tick a box. He chooses peace. And peace is addictive. Once a man gets used to it, he will protect it like treasure. He won't respond to manipulation. He won't chase validation. He won't argue about nonsense. You can't guilt him anymore with a real man would, because he knows what a real man does. He protects his peace, his time, and his energy. Let's imagine him, okay? Saturday morning, he wakes up late, makes coffee, maybe reads a book, goes for a run. Nobody's asking where he's going, why he didn't answer a text, or if he's still mad about last night. He's smiling, his shoulders are relaxed, his thoughts are quiet. That's the life a smart man builds for himself, not because he's anti-love, but because he's pro-peace. And you know what else? He's not anti-women either. In fact, most of these men still appreciate women. They admire kindness, intelligence, femininity, but they've become selective. They won't tolerate someone who treats their effort like a given. They won't sign up for a relationship that feels like a full-time job with no reward. They've realized that peace doesn't mean isolation, it means control. Control of your time, your emotions, your space. That's something every man secretly craves but rarely admits. A lot of women don't understand this shift. They see a man who's content alone and think, he must be lonely. But no, he's simply fulfilled in ways that don't depend on someone else's approval. He's at a point where silence feels safer than attention. And here is the secret. When a man truly enjoys his solitude, he becomes even more attractive because he's not desperate. He's not chasing anyone. He radiates stability, confidence, and calm. Women can sense that energy immediately, but ironically, by the time he reaches that level of peace, he's not interested in impressing anyone anymore. He knows what he brings to the table, and if someone can't appreciate that, he'd rather eat alone. But that doesn't mean men should give up on love completely. What it means is that they are no longer willing to sacrifice their peace for temporary excitement. All they want is emotional maturity, not games. They want loyalty, not performance. They want a partner, not a project. And yes, that narrows the dating pool a lot. But for a man who's been through enough, that's okay.
I was listening to her talk about, older men in particular, and how over time they gain experience and how they don't want that type of chaos in their home. And, as you get older, it becomes more of a priority. You need to start looking more after your health. And modern women like to keep up a bunch of nonsense. The older you get, naturally you're already declining. And then I have chaos. I have foolishness going on. I have idiotic tendencies and idiotic nature about some of these women in my house, causing trouble, just silly issues. And I, as a man, got to try to every day after I come home from work, fix it. I've always got to be Mr. Fix It, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. I've always got to be Mr. Fix It. You're always keeping up mess. That type of woman can really drive up somebody's stress levels, their cortisol levels, their blood pressure, right? And then that man ends up in the hospital chasing you around, having to go back and forth and be frustrated with you, having to holler and scream back and forth with you to do the right thing because you're ruining him. You're ruining everything that he's worked for. You're ruining, this man might have kids and you're ruining relationship with his kids, even with his baby mama sometime. You're ruining all that because you only care about yourself. So men, one of the many decisions that they're making is, I got to protect my health, man. This woman is like, she's gasoline, just gasoline and fire and somebody throwing a match and just everything going up in flames. That's what she's trying to do to my life. And I don't want that. And the doctor already told me I need to chill out on the stress. I need to walk. I need to go do something that's relaxing. He already told me that. But doc don't know that I've been trying to do all of that. but my levels are still up because I got a woman at home that don't know how to be quiet.
I really hate to give this topic attention because I feel like what you give attention to grows, but the red pill narrative needs to be exposed. Last week, someone from the red pill community stitched one of my videos carrying on about why women are single, how we have unrealistic standards, how we will only go for men who are in the top 1% of earners, who are, millionaires, just all of these ridiculous claims that are not true to reality. He was hiding behind a mask. He was carrying on about me being single and how I would never give someone like him a chance to go on a date. I ended up reaching out to him because I was so curious how someone could become like this. How do you get to this point where you honestly believe this polarizing narrative online? He proceeded to tell me it was just rage bait. He started to harass me to go on a date with him. And when I said no, that I wasn't interested because our values don't align, that I would never date someone who speaks so poorly about women, he would not stop. And this is exactly what the red pill community does to men. It makes them believe that they are entitled to women's attention. So this is what he started to say after I told him, no, I am not interested in going on a date with you. And his narrative completely switched back and forth. First, it was all of my videos are rage bait, to this, I can't stand all of you Western women. I offered you my love. I do not know this person. This is a stranger on the internet. So the reason I bring this up is because the red pill narrative, it is keeping men single. Men have lost the ability to have confidence in themselves, to approach women, to actually align with values that are respectable, to accept no for an answer and just move forward. Rejection is a part of life. You are not always going to get exactly what you want. And when someone tells you no, just move forward. There are plenty of fish in the sea. There is such a lack of self-control from men that when women say no to them for a date, for attention, they take it so personal that they start hating all women. And just to clarify, I understand that there is a polarizing narrative that sits on the other side of women against men, which I understand. But I'm talking about the perspective of the red pill community. This is what it does to men. It keeps them lonely. It makes them hate women. It makes them hate people. And it just does nothing to improve their lives. They are being sold a false claim that is doing nothing for them. Most of these men in the red pill community are so lonely and filled with bitterness and hate. They don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be single. They want to be in a loving relationship, but they have dug themselves so deep into the red pill narrative that they have made themselves unattractive to women. Real relationships in real life are not built on this false narrative of men needing to be in the top 1% of earners. And honestly, I had never even heard of red pill until I joined the internet or joined TikTok. So sorry for this long rant, but I feel like it's really important for men and women to understand how damaging this community is.
If it was rage bait, if he's saying that it's rage bait, you don't think that he might be trolling you? The guy here in the comments said the red pill community, does not represent the majority of men, nor does it represent a majority of men struggling with loneliness. A lot of men are just normal people and dating is difficult. And she said, I agree with you. Another person responded and said, but a lot of men are exposed to that red pill content on the internet, even when they're not looking for it, and that's a problem. It's always a problem when people tell a man, hey, watch out for these pitfalls. Hey, brother, you're coming up on a wrong turn. Don't do that. Or at least perceive a caution. That's going to be a problem for you. I don't know what that dude had going on or what he was talking about. But when men listen to things, there was one guy, he was going for about a few minutes, and it was really good. He was detailing very calmly why a lot of men don't get married today. Right? He just detailing it, just breaking it down. And a woman got in his comments talking about, oh man, this is not realistic. It is. It's not realistic to you. You don't want it to be realistic to you. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. What he's saying about men today and them having to, y'all keep on pushing men further and further. And they turn and they go find something else to do. And y'all get mad at them. It's like y'all are walking around behind a man, trying to see what he's doing, and you're always bothering him, quite frankly. You're always on his back, quite frankly. And that's not cute. That's not cool. Nobody wants to be a part of that. And so you wonder why men go to different groups to hide from you, to stay away from you. Like you're not a good person to be around. I know y'all like to get on here and talk about how men are terrible because of the groups they join and whatever and whatnot. Maybe so. But y'all ain't no better either, whether you're in a group or not.
So let me pick up where I left off. Fellas, you keep saying I'd rather stay single. Women are too much. I don't need the headache. I get it. But let's be real. That is crap. You don't actually want to die alone with a freaking gaming console and a fridge full of frozen pizza. You don't. Because guess what? Biology doesn't lie. Men and women were designed for each other. That is masculine and feminine polarity. That's not just some TikTok buzzword. That is nature. That's why when you're with the right woman, everything in your life sharpens. Your drive, your purpose, your discipline, everything. Now, sure, being single is easy. No drama, no compromise, no responsibility. But easy gets old. The hookups get boring. The solace gets depressing. The silence in your house starts getting loud. And then what? You're 40, 50, 60 years old. Nobody by your side. Nobody in your bed. Nobody to build with. That is not freedom. That's failure. Here's the truth. Men need women and women need men. That's a beautiful balance. That's order. That's how we're wired. The problem, though, is too many men give up before they figure us out. They throw their hands up like it's too complicated instead of leaning in and cracking the damn code. When you do crack the code, life gets great. You get respect. You get loyalty. You get passion. You get peace in your home and fire in your bedroom. That's not a bad deal if you ask me. That's a jackpot. So stop lying to yourself that staying single forever is the move. It's not. Master your woman. Don't run from her, because the man who figures out his woman is the man who truly wins at life.
So I can't remember the last time I had frozen pizza in my fridge. You know, air fryers exist. Once again, crock pots exist. There's a lot of things that are helpful for cooking. So also, you guys act like y'all act like a grill doesn't exist. Y'all act like men just quit grilling. Like they I just don't know how to grill anymore. Like y'all act like men don't know how to cook with fire. Just because, you know what? The point is, I don't have to have chicken nuggets in my fridge anymore. Pizza roll, I might have those, but those are snacks. That's not my source of daily sustenance. I just have that, for a snack here and there. But y'all thinking that men are just useless? They just can't do it without the help of a woman? Oh, she got to do this. No, I don't. A man in the comments says, who are you trying to convince? You or me? I'm just fine. The other guy says, no, don't fall for it, boys. I was happy, young and single, miserable and lonely in my 18-year marriage, destroyed by a woman in every way. Now I am single again and not lonely and happy with being me. Another guy says, it has to be the right woman. I'd rather die alone than be with the wrong one. Right? Somebody else said getting married was literally the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life. Another guy says, nice TED talk, but still a no. Single life isn't perfect, but it's better. There you go. There you go. These men are making a conscious choice. Said single life isn't perfect, but it's better. You know why he said that? Because there's too many risks involved with these unstable modern women.